Righto, just a quick update on Bitcoin. Actually, I'll just get over to Bitcoin first here, I suppose. Now, which one are we going to go with? I don't think we should be going that one. Anyway, as we can see, we've got a breakout with Bitcoin. I'll just keep my yep, this is the one I'm after. So we've got a breakout with Bitcoin. 8,765 we're sitting at the moment. So this here would be a buy in my book. I'm still fully invested from down here, so I'm not going to be buying anymore because I don't have any more money to buy anymore with. So anyway, that's pretty much where we're at the moment. As you can see, this chart on the daily is looking awesome. And I'll just point something out in just a minute. So when I'm looking at this, there's three main things that you look at, and it's the study of price and the study of time and the study of volume. So basically I'm studying those three things every day, and just looking at it, we can see that all the accumulation that's happened here and the breakouts and things like that. You got to keep in mind that Bitcoin can do absolutely anything. So it can turn around at any given time, but in history, this has a 7 out of 10 chance of continuing. So, and also we do see some resistance coming around the 10,000 mark, a little bit less than that, about 9,700. So 9,700, and I wouldn't surprise. So it wouldn't surprise me. That was the car out the front doing a burnout. I got the front door open. How cool is that? And that was my wife swearing in the background too. So anyway, back to it. So this here has it's showing some very, very good potential at this stage, and it's showing some awesome strength. And as we can see here, the volume continued to die off, which was great. Actually, I'll just move those because we kind of need to, like, I've moved the chart a little bit, so it's kind of that's actually even that I've got to make better than that. If my cursor will let me, there we go. So as we can see, the volume did die down on the so during this here, so we can see that this was the peak of the volume here, and then we had a good selling day, like monster red volume there. So that was a little bit of an alert, but we still had good buying power here. So we keep on looking at it, but the buying started to die off. It started to die off. You could tell by the size of the candles, but also it was reaching a peak anyway. It really needed to do some profit taking. And so as you can see, the buying in the volume was decreasing on its way up. Now that is a surefire sign to say, be very careful. We're going to have a pullback. We're going to have a sell-off, and people are going to take profits. So, which is exactly what happened here. People took profits. And then we had a good buying day, which beat the others. But this wasn't one to be buying on. Like even though it closed above here and it had good volume, this wasn't one to be buying on. This is considered to be like a close enough to a double top. If it's within, say, 1%, 1.5%, it's considered to be the equivalent as the previous value. Then we see that the volume here, we got good selling volume here, but it went down and the buyers came back in to finish that up. And so that's why we had the big, even though it's a red day, it's a negative day, open high, close low. So it's a negative day. That there is just saying basically that, it was a negative day, but the volume is higher because the buyers came back in. And we can see less volume in the selling, and then all of a sudden we have the buying day here. And if we look down here at the buying day with the volume, we can see that the volume beat the previous two selling days, and then we're off to the races again. So just looking at those there. And now looking at today, what we have here, so we had a little bit of a consolidation, which is good, and the volume, there was a decline in volume. So if we would have had an increase in the volume in the selling, then that would have been a concern. But because we kind of dried up in the selling, that's even more, it's showing good strength there, and still we're climbing at the moment. So if you had a look at it on the 4-hour chart, you could have actually bought, like above these peaks here around about the 8,300 mark. But I have found that trading the 4-hour chart, you need to watch it way too much. It takes up too much of your day. Whereas if you look at it now, it's 10 past 10 in the morning. Once this video is done, I will pack this up and I won't look at it again for the next 24 hours around about. So we've had a good breakout, good volume, stochastics are up, and a good strong day. So what we had here, an open, went down a little bit, and then we came back up and we closed near the peak, which is very good strength. One thing I do want to show you as well is, for those that have an interest in Bitcoin, is oh no, I've got to change that again. Is we need to have a look at the weekly chart here, and on the weekly we can see that on the weekly we can see that we had a nice rise, a little bit of a consolidation, and then a really good rise. So this to me is saying that like we could take off, we could go down, we could go sideways, who knows, but this here is looking like it. Let's just have a look at the volume. If we stick with the volume, like I said, if we're going to study time and price, let's have a look at the price firstly. The price has shot up very high, and it's well and truly above the 200 moving average, and it's not too high above the 50, but it is quite high above the 50. This to me looks like it should have, like we could see some more, upwards moving. That's what it looks like. It looks like it's going to move up. This has a 7 out of 10 chance of moving up further than what it is now. Looking back in history about what the charts say back then and extrapolating that out from where we are now to the future, it looks like we've got a 7 out of 10 chance, probably even a little bit higher than that, of continuing to move up. But in saying that, markets don't just go up forever. So this here is a hesitation, like a consolidation kind of a candle, especially when you see this at the top. So we could actually see that, we're talking about on the weekly chart here. So we could even see it get up to around about the 10,000 mark, and then it drop back down to 8,000 and muck around, something like that. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that on the weekly chart. So here, I've moved my buys. Anyway, you can see here where I last traded, and then I didn't actually do anything until back here. So, and going back to the daily, and then I will move it on to a couple of other charts that I want to show you as well. I don't want to make this video too long, but okay, so here we are back on the daily again, and you can see here, we've got a clear breakout, but there's only one thing. It's not negative, but it would be better, is if we had volume that was above average on this day. Usually on a breakout day, we like to see above average volume, and we didn't. If you have a look at this day here, like that, we've got some above average volume there on that breakout day. It's fantastic. And also on this breakout day here, we've got above average volume there again. It had decline in the volume here, and we do have a awesome looking breakout. It's doing all the right things, but the volume, that's probably the only negative thing. But this is like a numbers game. You probably got about, say, 5 things that you might look at, and then like if you've got 4 out of 5, and the fifth one is only like a maybe, it's not a negative, then it's it's still okay. Like this here to me is a buy. Just going through, I just want to go through a couple of these charts. We'll just do a quick squiz at these. Bitcoin gold, yeah, Bitcoin gold's okay, but it's not excellent. Like we've no, there's really not that much strength in there. It's doing the right thing. Hang on a minute. The reason why it's not looking all that good is because some of these charts I had them set to 4-hour chart when I was trading the 4-hour, and that's on the 1 day. And sometimes Coinergy doesn't want to do exactly what I tell it, so you kind of got to go through bits here and there. So that was on the daily chart. So got a good cut there with a handle, but like that was a low handle, and then this one here, it still needs to break out. Like we need to see somewhere near $26 with good volume and all that sort of stuff before we call that a buy. I wouldn't be in a rush to get into Bitcoin gold. That to me is not a breakout. EOS, I had a look at that this morning and I was quite impressed. Let's just have a squeeze. There we go. That's why I was impressed with it. That's telling me it's on the 4-hour chart as well. So that is a clear breakout there, as you can see. And we have a good cup with handle going all the way up to there and then down to here, bouncing off the 50. Yeah, EOS, I like it. I do hold some EOS, and I'm very comfortable with where I'm at. IOTA, Internet of Things. Let's have a look at. Okay, so I do have some IOTA, and but this is okay. That's all it is. It's not excellent. It's not. It's only okay. If I was on the sidelines looking for something to buy, I wouldn't be buying this. I'd be buying something that had a more exciting chart, like Bitcoin. But then again, Bitcoin's extended. Who knows? Litecoin, love it. If you have a look at these days here, so this here, so you can see the volume is well above average there. And then this here, like this is kind of an indecision day as to what we're going to do, because we're, competing with these highs here. And then after that, all that arguing happened between the buyers and the sellers. This day here came through, and then it closed and finished there. This particular pattern, good strength, indecision, good strength, means it's a continuation pattern. The chance of this continuing to go up is around about 8 out of 10. And especially that we've got the volume increasing there. We've got all the moving averages are up. It looks good. I like it. And Litecoin, everyone likes Litecoin. It's a... only if, we weren't smart enough to be buying it around about $23. When was that? December, January. Anyway. Neo used to be one of my favorites, and a lot of other people liked it as well. But I don't know, like there's just not too much, the chart's ordinary. Like, we went up, it was looking good, and then it came back down below the 200. And even though it couldn't live below the 200, like there's a great reversal there. But it's just, you got to see some bigger and better action than that. Like Neo, if I had money on the sidelines, I wouldn't be jumping into Neo. It's just, as all the hype that goes behind Neo, the chart is not looking good. Quantum, I got Quantum, and that's ordinary. It's not a sell, it's not a buy. So anyway, that's that. Tron, let's have a look at Tron. Tron, look at Tron, looks good. So what we have with Tron, so we've got a little bit of a resistance level there, but hopefully, looking at it today, we seem to be bouncing through that. So we've got around about the 3 cent, 3.1 mark there, and so let's take that back a bit and look at it. I was looking at the numbers. So around about 3.1. So we've got that there, and we've got awesome volume, so a fantastic candle, moving averages are doing the right thing, and hopefully we have an indecision day here and one that just powers through to get to about 34, 35 tomorrow. That would be great, but the close is very important as well. But Tron, it looks good, but this is kind of flat line, even though that's a good breakout. It's a solid breakout. It really needs to break these highs here, which is the 31.8, where it is now. It needs to get to about 35 and then close there with strength. And then, we'll be looking at that as a buy more. Stellar Lumens. Yep, Stellar Lumens, look at that, looks good. Yep, that to me is a breakout. But the only thing is I'll be looking at the hesitation here as soon as it hits around about the 14.3 mark. So I've got 13.5. Yeah, so, I wouldn't be in a rush to get into that, even though it does look like it's got great strength. We might see it bobble around here a little bit, and then as soon as it, reaches these lines here, so around about, let's say, 2 weeks' time, we should see, be looking for a breakout around about 2 weeks' time for this one with Stellar Lumens. With Monero, love Monero. If you don't have any Monero, only reason why I like Monero so much is because it's the only true private cryptocurrency that cannot be traced. So, okay, so we had a good cup handle, and then we bounced off the 50, and then we're heading up, and this here, the resistance of where it is at now, 93. If that goes through and breaks through 93, then we're going to crack through the 100 mark. Yeah, there's going to be resistance there at around about 100 as well. So we need to see around about $103, $105, breakout and stabilize above that. and then it'll probably come back down and use the 100 mark as resistance. Oh, sorry, as support. But anyway, yeah, Monero for the long term, fantastic. Love Monero. Ripple, the banker's coin. Anyway, can't hold that against them. Like, they're gonna put their money in somewhere, and then this is, this has more chance than any, because they can print as much currency as they want and buy whatever they want at the taxpayer's expense. Just thought I'd throw that little bit of salt in the wound there. But you can see that Ripple, there's nothing really exciting about Ripple at all. I think it's got just as much chance to do whatever. But then again, it's got such, big financial backings behind it. So, Anyway, that's Ripple. Verge, 1.1 cent. Verge, this is backed by some very big corporations too. The big multinationals are in this one. They like this one. So, but anyway, that's quite a boring chart. I wouldn't be jumping in there to, if I had the money to buy, I wouldn't be looking at buying that one. Zcash. Zcash was a cryptocurrency that tried to copy off Monero, and but anyway, it didn't succeed. It's a good privacy currency, but it's still transparent. They can still find how much you got and where it's at. This here is looking very good for a breakout. Like, if we see a good close above the $80 mark, I would be looking at getting into this. I think the only thing that's negative about this is that it's come up and this handle comes down like way too low. Usually that signifies that there's going to be weakness in the rally. That's, looking in history, it says that when this handle part goes down too low, there's weakness in the rally. So so when this does take off, be ready to take your profits quickly. Quickly, could be in a couple of months or could be in a couple of days, who knows. But anyway, that's around about it for me. I don't want to bore you too much. That's just my 2 cents on where Bitcoin's at and where it could possibly go. But don't copy me. I've got it wrong before too. It's just, but anyway, that's pretty much how I look at it, and see it from there. But look at that, loving it. Go Bitcoin, rock on. All right, have a good day. See you.